You finally sit down to write and face this monster, the blank page. While the cursor is blinking and the clock is ticking, you're totally stuck. You cannot get any progress at all by being more and more stressed. But it does not have to be this way. After writing 3 books in 3 months, 337 articles in 1 year, and now making a video every other day, I discovered the ultimate solution you can implement today to get rid of writer's block forever. In order to truly solve writer's block, we need to understand what it is. Aside from just not being able to write, we want to know exactly why you can't write. Let's go back to the blank page scenario again. In a perfect world, you wanted your essay, assignment, article to come straight, finished and perfect from your fingertips. No waste at all, just pure perfection. Then you get frustrated when it does not happen, wondering if there is something wrong, something that you missed. You really do not want this text to suck, so you try even harder, but it still won't come out. After a long time of this battle of confusion and self-esteem, you give up, at least until the deadline. There are 3 problems with this. You not exactly know what perfect is or how it should look like, but somewhat expect that it will come out naturally. You expect to come up with all of this in a linear way, while in reality our brain is not linear at all. It's associative, drawing connections from everywhere depending on what you're interested in. And finally, you do not like being stuck at all, so you try harder. But what you're really doing is tensing and shaking, taking away precious attention and energy from the writing itself. Then it's no wonder why you procrastinate doing it, because writing that essay is very horrible. You do not like the situation. And according to modern behavioral science, we know more of what we like and stop doing what we do not like. So the 3 factors causing writer's block are 1, lack of clarity, 2, a belief in writing linearly and perfect from the first try, and 3, not enjoying the process at all. If we want to eliminate writer's block, we want to reverse all of those 3. We want to 1, make it crystal clear on what we want to achieve, 2, give ourselves the freedom to write whatever comes out, and 3, enjoy the experience no matter what happens. Let's go over one by one. The reason why goal setting and planning is so popular among high achievers is that you become very clear on what you want. But how do we actually get clear on what we want out of this essay? The answer is by asking these questions. 1, who is it for? If you're writing for an audience, what would they want to see from it? What do they expect? If you're writing for a teacher or publication, what would please them? And of course, as new creators, it's an extremely hard question because you're just starting out. But by always going with your best guess, you're closer and closer to the actual reality. Test your assumptions and do more of what's working. The second question is, why should the audience listen to you? Here is where you state why you are the right person for that essay. Maybe you have some experience to back it up, or have done some research to show. Maybe you're curating something else who's an authority in that field. Here is often when imposter syndrome kicks in, which is we feel that we're not good enough. But if you define the audience very specifically, it helps a lot. Take for instance me. I'm not the best creator at all. I don't have the most subscribers or the most views or even an expert in that matter. But I've been creating a lot during my first year. Come up with productive solutions that works for me. And I also know that there are many new creators like me who also face the same issues. I know solutions that they don't, which makes me a very specific authority in this tiny pond. So in terms of imposter syndrome, no one will be a better you than you. As long as you deliver what you know with your own experience and your way of phrasing it to the audience you can best serve, all positive things will come out from there. You might also discover that you do not at the moment have the necessary resources to back it up. Now you know what to do. Go on Google Scholar and whatever, and find these sources. Once you have enough, you can go through these and select on what is best for the story. And finally, the third question, which you can ask again and again. What are you trying to say/create? To answer the question, you want to start from the highest level and go down and down from there. First, start with the title and thumbnail. There's so many writers and creators who just come up with a title in the end, which is totally backwards for many reasons. If you cannot sum up what you've done in just a few words, your clarity is way off, which of course is writer's block. Spend a lot of time just on this first impression, this summarizing sentence that encapsulates the entire essay at large. Then you go down the entire outline, chapters, sub-chapters, within the sub-chapters, etc. and outline more if necessary. If you ever find yourself stuck, just go back up and answer the question again. Usually this first solution is enough to simply get yourself rolling and in the flow state very quickly. Know who this is for, tell them why you should trust you, and then work your way into what it is. As I said before, our brains are not linear at all, but think very sporadically and many associations, which is why mind maps and network note-taking apps are very popular. So we want to work with this fact and not against it. Instead of trying to control what comes out, simply let it come out. Write down exactly what you're thinking, and I'll give you an example. For instance, if you sit down to the blank page again and think, I can't do this, I'm such a failure, help. Then write, I can't do this, I'm such a failure, help. Exactly what you thought. Once you even start to describe your thinking, you find out that it gets a whole lot easier now. Either you just listen to your thoughts or write them down, or you become so clear that you start to make progress on the writing itself. The other benefit is you're offloading your working memory and reduce cognitive load. You're no longer trying to remember what you're going to say or write because you've already written it down. Now you have room for more creative ideas and can get into flow much faster since you're not struggling so much anymore. So just by writing what it comes out, no matter how bad it is, you get yourself unstuck. Then you can objectively see which words to keep and which words to throw out. Because you're not straining your working memory anymore, you can start to enjoy the writing itself, which is what we will talk about next. In every pursuit, we imagine that we achieved our goals and dreams, but also believe that there is a struggle ahead. The struggle is right now, and we do everything, sacrificing right now for the future. But the ones who have succeeded enjoy the experience and climbing in itself. And this is very easy to see just by pure logic. Like for instance, if you have two people, they're equally smart and talented. One of them does not enjoy the process and day-to-day activities at all, while the other one is totally enjoying it and would do it whatever happened and whatever reward he or she would get. Who do you think is going to win out of those two? Ultimately, there is no final destination, but just this regular practice. Like for instance, sports people show up to the workouts and musicians show up to the practice itself too. So for new creators like us, the daily process is all we have. So we might as well enjoy day to day. The key to enjoying the experience itself is to not expect anything else other than what's happening right now, what you see, hear and feel. For example, when you're bathing, you might want to say that the purpose is to get clean, but you're not especially there to get clean. You're there to enjoy the water coming on your skin and having this amazing relaxation experience. So in the same way, focus entirely on what's happening right now. Feel the underlying joy of possibilities and this sensation of just going there and having this progress in whatever you do, and the ever-expanding sensation that makes us creative in the first place. No matter where you sit or where you stand, if you're in a room or for instance in this forest, you can fully embrace the situation and feel very good about it. And as Andrew Huberman says, if you can attach the reward to the process itself and not necessarily to the results, although the results are good too, then you have a recipe for a thriving career and life no matter what happens. So far we covered a lot and you're probably full of insights and wow, I didn't know this before and all of that. So here's a quick summary of what we learned. Writer's block is caused by 1. Lack of clarity, 2. A belief in writing linearly and perfect from the first try, and 3. Not enjoying the process at all. If we want to eliminate writer's block forever, we want to reverse all those 3. We want to 1. Make it crystal clear what we want to achieve, 2. Give yourself the freedom to write whatever comes out, and 3. Enjoy the experience no matter what happens. We get crystal clear about answering who is this for, why should they listen to us, and working down and down what we want to say. And whenever you do not write something automatically, it doesn't really flow, you can go back to this question at each level in order to get some clarity from there. You also want to write whatever comes out, your thoughts. Transcribe word for word your ideas and thoughts, you don't need to remember them anymore. Freeing up space to move forward instead. And finally, you want to give more attention, more care towards the simple act of showing up. Enjoy the creative flow, the endless possibilities, and overall this amazing feeling of progress every second. So next time you go back to this blank page, do not freeze or stress out, but answer these questions, transcribe what you're thinking, and feel very good about the situation, no matter what happens. The blank page will now be your best friend, not your enemy. And in my experience, you will find that it takes less and less time before you actually start to make progress for each session. This very video was created by me just writing down from top to bottom in a very conversational manner. Because the questions already been answered and thoughts come out effortlessly. But you need to crawl before you sprint, and you do that by enjoying the process.